Welcome back. Yes, guys, remember, what we are doing is important for you to understand, because definitely you find that VAT affects your daily lives. And now, let's ask the question, is there a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion? Certainly there is. Allow me to explain. When we're talking tax avoidance, if Carl believes that he wants to pay less tax on his income, he has an option. What option does he have? What he can do is that put some of his investments in a tax-free investment. So it is his prerogative to avoid the payment of tax as much as possible. In other words, if Carl feels that he does not want to pay VAT, as much VAT, he can reduce his purchases. Like I alluded to early on, if he feels that he wants to reduce his income tax, what can he do? He can transfer his savings into a tax-free investment, such as endowment funds or government bonds. In that way, he will pay less tax, but that's what we refer to as tax avoidance, which is perfectly legal. You might as well think about this. It is clear it can be done by anybody. Now, tax evasion. If Shane feels that he is going to not show his returns to SARS, he's going to hide his returns to SARS, then definitely that is what we call tax evasion. And Shane can be locked up for that. It is illegal to evade tax. If you have earned income which is taxable, it is a legal requirement to declare this income on your tax returns, and the appropriate tax will be levied by SARS. If you fraudulently submit incorrect tax returns, you will be guilty of tax evasion, which is a criminal offense punishable by fines and/or imprisonment. So clearly you can see, guys, the difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. Avoidance, perfectly legal. Evasion, illegal. Don't do that. Otherwise, you may spend some time where you don't want to spend some time. Okay, let's move on. When it comes to your calculations on VAT, if you are told that goods were sold including VAT, inclusive of VAT, for 456 Rand, what do you want to calculate? If you want to calculate the VAT, watch the formula. It's 14, which is your rate, over 114. Now, why 114? Because 100 is the selling price plus the 14% VAT. If you multiply this by 456, your answer will be 56 Rand. So you can clearly see that if you're doing a calculation, and if you want to calculate VAT, then you use 14 over 114. Therefore, my selling price excluding VAT would be 400 Rand. How did we get that? You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure that one out. If inclusive of VAT was 456 and your VAT was 56 Rand, 456 minus the 56 will give you your 400 Rand, which is your selling price exclusive of VAT. Now, these are a few calculation tips for you. Keep them in mind, remember them, work with them, and they will make your task much, much easier. If you want to calculate the VAT inclusive, right, then we said it's your selling price times 14 over 114. Okay? If you want to calculate, and this is what we call the tax fraction. Now, just a bit of explanation here. 14 over 114. Why is that? Because 14% is your VAT rate, and your 114 would be the 100% plus the 14%. There goes. So this is what we refer to as the tax fraction. If you want to calculate the sales amount, watch what we do. and you are working with inclusive of VAT, you will take 100 over 114 times your selling price. In this way, what figure will you get? You will therefore arrive at the selling price. Now, obviously very simple. If you want to calculate the VAT amount and you are just given the normal selling price, then it's 14 over 100, which is 14%. Remember the shortcut? Selling price times 0.4. Why? Because 14 over 100 is equal to that on your calculator. But if you're not sure, always use your percentage function on your calculator so you know exactly how to calculate your VAT. So now we've learned about tax evasion, we've learned about tax avoidance, we've learned about shortcuts when it comes to the calculations of VAT, and we were given certain hints. Guys, make sure you know it, learn it, and practice it when you're working with your past papers. But we're now coming to something very, very important. And if you want to know what that is, you have to stay tuned. Be back with you in a jiffy.